Hey, Hoopy Trades! A lot's changed. Oh man. In this video, I said that you guys were making people famous. You see, as a guru, I really get to see a lot of market data that a lot of people don't have access to. And I get to take note of these patterns and see them play out over years and years and years. And the volatility index had risen, and we were at a point where people were selling discords on how to navigate the fear. A lot of people were blowing up out of nowhere. We spent about a 1.5 year period through a volatility index crash. And I believe that gets us where we are today. A place that I predicted we were going to make it to. Jovially, I call it the genius phase. We're gonna enter the everyone looks like a genius phase. So it's good to remember that looking like a genius doesn't matter, unless it's because one understands and is prepared for the other side's argument better than they are, which is only possible with gamma, theta, and beta. So one of the stocks that a lot of people were getting pretty famous off of was Nvidia. Get all these losers out of the market. I don't give a flying F. Where will the gurus be when Nvidia holds 108 and blows past a new all-time high? The same place they were when it tripled from 115? Whatever, baby. I'm sure all these quants know what they're doing. So, of course, Nvidia's at 131 right now because it's had a stock split, because it 10x'd from this post. And I held NVDY since its inception and collected massive dividends. So I have a position that sells out of the money synthetic covered calls on Nvidia, and that position has already paid for itself. All of the risk has been removed and then some, crystallized with dividends. So I'm not going to sell that. And I'm really not too sure what I'm going to do with Nvidia. But that wasn't the only post I've had about Nvidia. There's been this deal that, ever since the likes were made private, Elon Musk says that there's been more likes. People were embarrassed to like things, right? I think a lot of people are embarrassed to, like my post. They think I'm a little too woo-woo. I'm a little too esoteric. I think I can predict the future. All eyes on tech this week is Apple, bang, Microsoft, bang, Amazon, bang, Nvidia, bang. All these rallies again for the same four stocks have each put in wave twos and are set the stage. A wave three rally higher, May 23rd, 2021. I was even giving time targets back then. Another Nvidia stock split. Wow. And then recently, look at this, 316 views. Really kind of gaming this wave four pretty well, perfectly. And I said that it was going to be a wave five that was either the length of wave one or the length of wave three, placed at the wave two low. So, we're still kind of like low. We're still kind of in the the trudges of where we should be. We should be a lot higher at this point. After all this, perfect calls to the upside, and that's because we value fear. We value fear more than reward. Because we think fear is more important. We're going to prepare more for disaster than we will for utopia. That's, in options why we have a skew to the puts. But they were trying to capitalize on your fear a lot. I don't know where they are. None of them had ever predicted Nvidia more than me, more accurately than me. And bang to the upside. Bang to the upside with 3 other stocks. Bang to the upside again. I mean, it didn't even take much for them to come out again. So I'm going to tell you something. There's this guy I knew. He lived in Dallas, Texas his whole life. But he said his favorite team in the 2010s was the New England Patriots, even though he'd never been to Boston. And everyone kind of called him a bandwagoner. You got to root for the Cowboys, right? No, I don't like the Cowboys. They're not any good. Bad franchise. All this. He said, I root for the Patriots. And they'd say, why? Because they've won a bunch of Super Bowls? He said, yeah. He said he roots for greatness. He thought it was a really important life principle to root for greatness. He didn't see anything wrong with being a LeBron fan and just rooting for whatever team LeBron played for. He said he rooted for greatness, And right now, it finished with, we ain't really rooted for greatness. I think you guys need to ask yourself a question. You guys say a lot of this is too woo-woo. Was this woo-woo? The length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low? Was this woo-woo? Predicting that Apple was going to have a quad-witching rotation? Quad-witching? Bobby Trace, you're crazy. Quad-witching. No one would ever talk about occultism or witchcraft in the stock market. Okay. That was pretty cool how I perfectly gamed that Apple rotation. Talking about a quarterly rotation, a quad-witching rotation. Kind of mystical, isn't it? And of course, now we have all these explanations. I think Apple intelligence is the new buzzword. But, I just don't think I'm supposed to help the Bears. I'm supposed to help the Bears navigate. I'm supposed to help the Bears? That sounds like betrayal. That sounds like treason. I might help the Bears. But where are they? Yeah, you didn't really survive your little guru Discord thing. Yeah, all those gurus who told you they knew everything. As soon as the market made all-time highs, they, started singing the bull drum and going the other way. So there aren't a lot of Bears left. But I know you're out there somewhere. You're gonna be out there somewhere. Because we're in the genius phase right now. I know. But one day we're gonna be in that fear porn phase. One day. There's a lot of mysticism. There's a lot of occultism. There's a lot of really kind of woo-woo stuff. I don't think you guys are ready for it. It's very similar to the woo-woo stuff that predicted Apple was going to have a quad-witching rotation. Adobe as well. So, if the Bears want my help, which I don't know why they would, but if they want to root for greatness, I think they need to ask themselves who's the top technical analyst on FinTwit. Who's the top? There's a lot of woo woo going into this. You know what Nvidia means, right? Nvidia in a foreign language means vagina. The sun is about to reach its highest point, and we're about to see at some point Nvidia is going to give birth. You see, she's led this market all the way up. So many stocks in the NASDAQ and really in the small cap tech. All types of stocks in the AI sector. The semiconductors as well. Still moseying right here towards near this 2021 high. But Nvidia's led this whole way. She's got all this money, tons and tons and tons of money. And she's about to give birth. Don't you see? Nvidia is the mother of the stock market. So she's going to give birth. And what happens when you give birth? Your water breaks. Your water breaks. There's a flood of liquidity. Mara means the water in Latin. Ripple, the tides. We're going to see stocks play catch up to Nvidia. She's going to give birth to new bulls. The Bible, to buy, bull, the story of the two bulls. Nvidia was the first. But as the sun reaches its highest point in the sky, as June turns into late July, and late July turns into August, we're going to see her give birth. She's going to go into labor, into the month of Virgo, the Virgin. And money is going to flow. Liquidity, the water, is going to flow out of Nvidia. I believe we'll continue to see stocks like Apple and laggards from 2023 like Tesla and Palantir in the AI sector that I've covered recently follow. And so I'm very happy to cover these stocks, and I'm going to continue to. But the Bears want me to help them navigate a potential rotation out of Nvidia in the third quarter using quad witching and all this wave stuff that they claim to think is voodoo and woo-woo. I've already had my Nvidia position pay for itself, and I'm going to collect dividends. Maybe YieldMax will happen to drop the short Nvidia ETF at just the right time, and I can pair it with NVDY. But as for helping these bears, these pesky bears, I know where you go to when all the fear-mongering whores come out. If you think I'm going to help navigate a super cycle correction, you need to let me know by subscribing and liking and sharing this video. Who's the top technical analyst on FinTwit? I only want that top. No Nvidia.